Salem, Oregon has been exploding with growth and has been for several years, and 2026 is going to be no different. And with Salem booming in 2026, this could be a prime opportunity for people moving to and relocating to Salem, especially people looking to buy a home. Get in early on these projects and just be in the know of where these things are happening. But for some, whether people are relocating here or for people that are already living here, some of these projects actually might prove to be a little bit of a nuisance. In this video, you're going to learn where some of the latest large-scale single-family development is happening, also where the latest commercial projects are going on, mixed use, and multifamily. We're going to cover neighborhoods like South Salem, eastern portions of Salem, the downtown area, Kaiser, and the last area you're going to want to stick to because that's where I'm going to reveal where some of the largest scale projects is happening, but it may not be very welcomed by its residents living there now. Why is knowing this information important for buyers? Well, it's more than just knowledge and knowing that these projects are occurring. These projects can affect your day-to-day lifestyle and ultimately your decision of where you buy a home. Because new construction means more housing options, better streets, new parks, green spaces, and amenities, and it often increases the neighborhood value. And knowing which neighborhoods are about to grow will help you make more of an informed decision on whether that neighborhood is going to be the right fit for you and the lifestyle that's being built out there. And at the same time, some of these projects have immediate consequences during construction, like added traffic. And even if you're not going to buy a home in one of these new developments, if you're just going to buy in and around it, it's good to know how this construction will affect your day-to-day traffic patterns and overall congestion, not only during construction, but of course, once it's complete. We're going to start off in a section of Salem that we are seeing some of the most large-scale single-family projects going on right now. The first project we're going to talk about is the Verona Heights project. Now, this has been in development and in the works for a couple of years, and a lot of homes have already been completed and moved into. However, there are a lot of homes that are near completion and just starting construction. This project is being built out by Richmond American Homes, where you're going to find houses anywhere between 2,800 square feet on up to almost 4,000 square feet, ranging from the low 700,000s to the upper 700,000 price range. Now, I love this area of South Salem because this is about as far south as you can get when it comes to living in the Salem city proper area. And this is a big draw for people, especially people looking to relocate to Salem because let's face it, when people move to Salem, they're looking for a little bit more peace and quiet, just like my family and I, when we relocated several years ago. We moved away from a large city, and we purposely chose Salem for that quieter, slower-paced life and wanted to be away from it all, yet super close to amenities. And this project has that to a T, where you just feel like you have a little bit of an escape, but you're only about 5, maybe 7 minutes away from all the amenities you need, and only about 15 minutes from the downtown area, where you can go in to catch a show, go to some of your favorite restaurants, do a little shopping, and get some great food. When you go out to this area, you feel a sense of peace. You're on a rolling hill, so some of these homes have some fantastic views of Salem, and you're bordered by farms, so it is just quiet and peaceful, and you really feel that as soon as you get into this particular neighborhood. Now, moving on to another section of South Salem, where another single-family project is happening by the same company, Richmond American Homes. They're building out an area that is a little bit more affordable, more in the $600,000 range, but new construction nonetheless. And this puts you even closer to a lot of the amenities, especially the Kubler Village, which is just going to be about maybe a 5-minute drive down Battle Creek. Now, both neighborhoods the first one I spoke about and this one now, are both south of Kubler, again, putting you about as south as possible when it comes to living in the Salem, Oregon area. Now, one of the highlights about this particular neighborhood is that it is, again, a little bit more affordable and a lot closer to amenities compared to the Verona Heights section of the South Salem area. Now, this section of South Salem is generally quiet and actually puts you really close to West Bennett Park, which is a very popular neighborhood park that's tucked away that really nobody knows about unless you kind of live in the area, and it becomes a real true neighborhood park. So this project is pretty close and adjacent to that. The one drawback about this area is that it runs along the I-5 freeway, or at least a portion of this project does. So inevitably you will have some of that freeway or traffic noise from the I-5. On the flip side, it does put you a lot closer to it. So if you're someone that commutes or jumps on I-5 quite often, you will have no problem accessing it because you're only about maybe a 5-minute drive to those access points. And one of the great things about this project is that you can buy a single family new construction home for upper 400s to the mid $500,000 range, which is a great deal when it comes to new construction. This little area off of Battle Creek is also tucked away, so you do feel a little bit kind of an escape from some of the city rush. And when you get on to Battle Creek, it's kind of a peaceful road surrounded by nature, so it has that feel and vibe to it where, again, it's a little peace, a little quiet, a little slow pace right there. But again, super close to all the amenities. Just a couple minutes drive up north to Kubler Boulevard, where the Kubler Village is. And actually that leads us into one of our next big scale commercial and mixed use projects that's happening right now, and that partially has been already completed. Kubler Village, which runs along Kubler Boulevard in the South Salem area, pretty adjacent to I-5 freeway. That is where our newest and big Costco, it's our only Costco in Salem. We've got Killer Burger, Crumble Cookie. We've got a couple medical offices there and vision offices. There is a Starbucks there, along with Mud Bay and Chick-fil-A. But the project is not yet complete, and they are still building. The final portion of this project is going to be a mixed use. We're going to have some housing, multifamily housing, along with some retail and more food options. So people are pretty excited about that, bringing even more of a bigger draw to this particular shopping area for South Salem and really all of Salem. I don't live in South Salem. It takes me about 25 minutes or so to get to Costco, but when I come here, I am looking forward to having more opportunities to food choices and to a little bit more retail shopping when I'm out shopping at Costco. So if you are looking to relocate to Salem, Oregon, wanting to buy a home, and you're looking for something slower pace, peace of quiet, and a little bit away from it all, these three projects have you covered in the South Salem areas. They are ones to watch, and some are available now, and they will continue to be available through 2026. Now we're going to move out of the southern section of Salem and move east, and I'll tell you about a large-scale single-family project going on there. But before so, as a reminder, I am Dave Fine with the Real Estate Dads at eXp Realty. I relocated here with my family several years ago, so I understand what you are going through. It's a big move, and I've helped plenty of clients make that move just like my family and I did. So if you're thinking about making that move, hit me up at the contact information popping up or in the description below. I'd love to help you. Subscribe to the channel, hit the like button for getting this video out to more people, and also comment below. I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have there. All right, moving to the eastern portion of Salem, Oregon. This project has actually been going on for a couple of years now and is near completion. And most of the places have been sold out, but there are some places that are still available. We are talking about East Park Village, which is put on by D.R. Horton, the builders over there. And I love this project because, again, it offers new construction for really affordable pricing. We are starting in the low $400,000 range, and they go up from there. This is a massive project, hundreds of homes built along State Street and Cordon Road. And it only puts you about 10-15 minutes away outside of the downtown area. What I really enjoy about this project is that even though it's smack dab right in the middle of the suburban area of Salem, once you get into this little community, you really feel away from it. Not so much like you do in the South Salem projects, but the builders did give it a great sense of community with little park spaces and playgrounds to enjoy for the kids, nice streets to walk around, and again, big enough to where you feel like you're in your own little world when living in this East Park Village neighborhood. What I also love about this particular neighborhood is that you're super close to I-5 freeway. So again, for people that are looking to commute or easy access to that freeway, and you are really close to Lancaster, which is where a lot of your commercial and your amenities are going to be for your day-to-day living with your supermarkets. You got the Willamette Town Center nearby and all the shopping and casual dining that you can want or need when living in this section of Salem. And not only are you close to all the amenities that you would need, and as I mentioned, really close to the downtown area, you are close to farmland and some of my favorite you-pick farms. I travel about 25 minutes to get here. If you live in the East Park Village, it may be only just about a 10-minute drive, whether you're going to Fordyce Farms, Easy Orchard, or even Olson Farms. Either one of those are my top three that we love to go to. We're picking our blueberries, raspberries, strawberries, and during the fall we go for apples. They also have some great fall festivities during the Halloween and Thanksgiving time period. So this community is really close to that. So if you're someone that loves that part of Salem, the agriculture, the agritainment that we have here, it puts you really close to that as well. Now that we've gone over some of the more larger scale single family home projects for you thinking about relocating to Salem, Oregon and buying a house, we're going to jump into some really exciting commercial and mixed-use projects that are happening in the downtown Salem area. And this is awesome for everyone that's living here because it is providing so much more retail, food, and entertainment outlets that we've been really wanting here in Salem, Oregon. Now, as I mentioned, later in this video, I am going to reveal a section of Salem where there is a large, massive scale project going on, but this project is not being very welcomed by the residents that are currently living there, and is something that you want to be aware of if you choose to live in that section. But that'll be a little bit later. Let's dive into the downtown area where there are a lot of projects happening and that are planning to go on. We're going to start off with one that is nearly complete but are still bringing in more shops, and that is the Forge Liberty Plaza on Liberty Street. Now, it's already been completed and they're adding more retail, restaurants, and services in the building. I love that we have an upscale French restaurant now here in Salem at the Forge called Clink. It's a great place, highly recommend. We've got Dreamy's Creamery, which is one of my family's favorite ice cream spots. All their ice cream is made with oat milk. It is delicious, super creamy. We go there very often. They've got high-end clothing stores, hair salons, nail salons, a dumpling house about to be open, a coffee and tea house that's going to be open, wine bar, yoga studio, art gallery. There's event space and venue center. There's also some professional services there and a few more retail spots that are going to open up soon. We don't know what they are, but we're welcoming the surprise when they announce it. There's also projects like Block 45 and Block 50. Now, the buildings that were there have been demoed years ago. It's been an open space, an open pit. It still is, but the plans are for mixed use with retail and more food choices coming to the downtown area, right in the heart of it. It's right off of Commercial Street, adjacent to the Marion Bridge that connects West Salem. It's also pretty much right across from our only free parking. Well, there's free parking at the indoor mall a little bit. You should take note that any of the outdoor parking in the downtown area is now paid parking. You can pay at the meters or they have an app for that. But just know that across from this upcoming project that's been in the planning for a very long time, it's going to be again between Commercial Street and Front Street, right in the heart of downtown. Very excited for that to start being built out. As more and more people are moving to and relocating to Salem, like my family did, like you're thinking about doing, we are definitely in more need of more of that prime downtown hub, a draw for people to come here. We've got a lot of great places already. My family and I love walking the downtown area with great food, entertainment, some shopping. They've got great community events downtown, a beautiful park with Riverfront Park adjacent to it with riverfront walking paths, which is awesome. So with more and more people coming here, there is a need for more amenities and just more of a draw to the downtown area. So we're very excited for all of these projects happening. The next project we're going to talk about is the Cannery. It's called the Cannery because it's taking over an old cannery space where they used to can goods, and actually just kind of recently stopped several years ago, and now being converted into another mixed-use section. Now these are going to be apartments, but the mixed-use section is exciting for more entertainment. There's going to be commercial space, retail, food hall, winery, and more access to the riverfront itself, which is something that I find always welcoming, especially when we've got the Willamette River running right through your city. I feel like the more places you have to hike, walk, or just enjoy the riverfront is very appealing. It was a big appeal for my family and I when we moved here, and I know it is for a lot of people that are thinking about moving to Salem, Oregon. Downtown Salem is charming. It's becoming more than just office space or a place that's connected with the Capitol or government buildings. It is becoming more of a work-play hub and more of a draw for people living in and around Salem area. Now we're going to jump a little bit north to our sister city, Kaiser. There's a couple of projects that are going on there that are exciting for people that live in Kaiser and live in Salem because, again, this is going to be about anywhere between 10 to 30 minutes away depending on where you live in Salem. And yes, don't worry, I am going to talk about that one neighborhood that is seeing a massive project happening in its neighborhood where it's a bit controversial, and you're going to want to know about that. So Kaiser, right by the McNary Estates, which is a higher end golf course community. Now this project is going to be a mixed residential on either side of River Road. It's going to have commercial space, including retail and food. So for those of you that are living or thinking about moving to Kaiser in the northern section of Kaiser, McNary Estates, or a little bit north, this will be a little bit of a welcoming spot for you because it's going to have more opportunities, more amenities for you along that River Road section. Now, if you don't know River Road, if you're not familiar with it, That is the main street that runs through Kaiser. It takes you all the way into Salem, but that's where you're going to find all of your retail, commercial, professional service. Pretty much, if you live in Kaiser, you are glued and going to River Road for anything that you need, for the exception of Kaiser Station. Now, Kaiser Station is pretty much all built out. There's a few things coming in. There's a Trader Joe's. If you're not familiar with Trader Joe's, one of my favorite markets to go to. I go to the one in the southern section of Salem. It's worth the drive for me. I absolutely love it, and I'm excited for another one to open up in the Kaiser Station. I'm sure people in Kaiser are excited about that as well. But Kaiser Station is a newer developed outdoor shopping center, newer than the Willamette Center that we have in Salem, and a lot of people in Salem go to Kaiser for kind of the newness and that big box shopping experience. But there's also the Chemawa Station, which is going to be right across from Kaiser Station. Right now in that area, there's a Chick-fil-A, there's a gas station, but there's also more stuff being built out, like a Marriott hotel and more retail spaces, including what looks to be a drive-through. So it's either going to be some sort of fast casual dining or maybe a coffee spot, but there are some retail outlets coming there. So a lot of big development coming to that Kaiser area, bringing in more amenities, more places to shop, and just more of a destination to go for people not only in Kaiser, but also in Salem. All right, if you've stayed on this long, you're getting the reward to know about that massive project happening in a neighborhood where it's controversial and the residents aren't exactly all that happy about it. It is in West Salem. Now, West Salem is known for a lot of growth and opportunity with new construction. They had some massive new construction projects by D.R. Horton. In fact, I live in West Salem. I live in one of those newer communities, because there's just so much open space and land in the West Salem area. And a lot of these areas and communities are built like the first areas I talked about early in this video in South Salem. When you are in West Salem, especially on the most northern or western portions of West Salem, you really truly feel away from it all. It's peaceful. It is quiet. There's not a lot of congestion. You can have great mountain views, great views of the city and the river itself. And so people choose West Salem, like my family and I did, for that peace and quiet and being able to escape, but also being super close to amenities. 10 minutes into the commercial hubs along Wallace and Edgewater, and about maybe 15 minutes into the downtown area. Well, that brings us to the latest grand project in West Salem called Titan Hills. It is going to be over 400 apartment complexes and about 12, maybe 15 townhomes being built right out on Dokes Ferry and Orchard Heights, right across from West Salem High School. Now, this is going to provide a lot of housing opportunities, but they're not for sale. These are going to be rentals. The issue that a lot of residents have is the amount of congestion it's going to cause in this area, especially being right across from the high school and pretty much adjacent or really close to one of the middle schools that we have here in West Salem. Now, this section of Dokes Ferry and Orchard Heights was peaceful, it's tranquil, very tree-lined, nice road, and with this large-scale construction project, you're really no longer going to have that feel, and it is going to add a ton of cars and traffic and people to a section that just frankly wasn't really used to that. And the biggest concern for a lot of people living in West Salem is the traffic and congestion it's going to cause on the bridge that people are already complaining about. Now, if you've watched any of my other videos about West Salem, then you know my thoughts about the traffic and the bridge. I don't think it's that terrible right now, but again, it's from my perspective. I came from a large city to the West Salem area, so I'm used to sitting in traffic for hours sometimes. So adding another 7 minutes to my commute, not a big deal during some of those congestion hours. Where it becomes a big deal is if something like an accident or a lane closure on the bridge, and that's going to really back it up for quite a bit more time. But when you're adding over 400 plus units to this side of town, and your real only access to I-5 or to the rest of Salem is across this bridge that really only takes you less than a minute to cross, and during traffic it takes you a few minutes, but it's really the roads like Wallace and Edgewater and the surrounding neighborhoods that people used to kind of cut through to get past or through some of that congestion. It's just going to be flooded with more people and more cars. So understandably, that's why a lot of residents in West Salem were not happy when this project got approved. They were thinking if anything was going to get approved, maybe some more single family homes. But when you add the density of multifamily, it just adds that much more people to a neighborhood that already feels that there's too many congestion and it takes too long to cut across the bridge over the Willamette River. Now, from my personal perspective, I still love the idea of living in West Salem because, again, I feel away from it all. I know all the amenities that I need, like grocery stores, casual dining, some professional services, banking services, post office, urgent care. It's all on this side of town in West Salem. I don't have to cross the bridge for that. However, for any of my big box shopping, entertainment, going into downtown area, going to my favorite market like Trader Joe's or going to Costco and Target, I am going to have to cross that bridge, and I can see and this will absolutely add to the congestion here. There has been talks of adding another bridge across the river. Apparently, it's been talked about for many decades and nothing has really happened. There are two other ways to cross the river. One of them is a ferry up a little bit off Wallace Road up north that'll take you into Kaiser. It's $3 to cross. It pretty much opens every day. It takes a few minutes to cross, but it can get backed up, and it just really takes you in the middle of nowhere in Kaiser, kind of off into a parkland, farmland area. It's not really efficient or effective to go. The other way is to cut off onto the 22 and then into Independence, which is a smaller city, and then across the bridge over there, but again, takes you way out of the way of where most likely you are going. So really, there is one way to get over, and the big concern is the added congestion. But again, my family and I absolutely love living in the West Salem area, and a lot of people, a lot of clients that I've helped move and relocate here end up choosing West Salem for its peacefulness. Knowing where all of these projects are occurring, whether it's single family, multifamily, commercial, mixed use, this is great knowledge and power for you as someone thinking about relocating to Salem, Oregon, because it gives you an opportunity to either buy into these new projects at an earlier stage or know at least where these projects are occurring that may affect your daily lifestyle, your commute, and some of the congestion, even if you're not buying directly in those projects. As mentioned, Salem, Oregon is exploding because so many people are choosing Salem, Oregon as their new home, like my family and I did. And again, if you are, I am Dave Fine, Real Estate Dads at eXp Realty. I would love to help you like I've helped so many of my other clients make the move here. I understand what you're going through as someone who relocated here myself, not originally from here. So I have that perspective. Hit me up at the contact information popping up or in the information below, and we'll help you buy that new home when you relocate here. Also, comment. Love to answer questions there. Hit the like button to get this video out to more people. If you like videos about the lifestyle of Salem, Oregon, you want to learn more, make sure you are subscribed to my channel.